Hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. I go by Lune INNATE, and this video is a healing session, probably typical to what you're seeing, unless this is the first video you're stumbling across from me. Essentially, I am a healer. That's not a word I typically resonate with, but in terms of language, I kind of struggle to find the best word that everyone will know what I'm talking about. I'm a Reiki teacher, Reiki practitioner, shamanic apprentice, and I love sound therapy, sound healing, crystals. I'm a crystal practitioner as well. Another word that kind of trips me up. I don't really like the way it sounds, but I'm just gonna have to use it. And this video is meant to be relaxing at the very bare minimum. Hopefully that's what everyone will achieve. But it is also from my perspective, and if you're open to it, I'm hopefully you can use this as a tool, just like you would a Reiki session if you were seeing a practitioner, or something that can help you to not only be comfortable and fall asleep and relax and put yourself in a good vibration, which I love ASMR and relaxing videos for, but also we're going to be addressing some issues that we've found or identified, challenges, a better way to say, that we've identified in the video that I just released previously, which was a reading based on more or less the for those of us in more real time, the upcoming Venus Retrograde. Or if you stumbled across this video, this is not only for that date. You can use it to work with these themes, which I'm going to share with you at any time. It doesn't have to be specific to that. This is just the creative process is dictated sometimes by what's going on, so I'm going to share with you what our theme is and what we're going to be working on through this session. So these are the cards that stood out from the previous reading. You'll see I'm in the same outfit and everything, on the topics we're going to address. I will say that I read tarot based off of the pictures and how I pick up signals from them or anything like that, how it makes me feel intuitively. So if you're a professional tarot reader and I'm not in alignment with what you know to be true, please forgive me. Just take into account that that's how I'm going about this. So one of the issues we want to work on is criticism, is expectation, is a harshness, or a releasing, I want to say, the expectations of everything to be exactly perfect all the time, as well as things working out the way we want them to. Now, please understand that I don't mean that we should release the expectation of things to work out how we want them to. I think that we should release the expectation on how they're exactly going to become worked out in the way that we want them to. For example, wanting a certain job, well, maybe instead of the job itself or that specific company, perhaps it might be worth considering focusing on what we want from the feeling of being there, what our work, what our day-to-day is, how much freedom do we have at this job, how good are the benefits, how fulfilled do we feel, and not so much like I need to work for this precise company because it's going to look good on my resume and logically it makes sense, as that would be the next step. Instead, let's focus on the bigger picture and letting that pull us through. So I hope that makes sense, is what we're going to be focusing on. So just to give you a little background, and of course you might be coming directly from that video, but this card was in the position of what we can let go of, or what got us to where we are now. Where we are now during that reading was a very beautiful place of alignment, of awakening, of being precise and being able to cut through things. So a few of you may still have this lingering attachment to the details instead of the bigger picture. So we want to work on fortifying our ability to connect with that bigger picture, because that's how manifesting works the best. And another element, now this was the card in the position of what can we do, what can we bring in, what can we take on or work with so that we can reach the best possible outcome for ourselves. And what I mean by that is to become in alignment so that we step into that place of fulfillment and perfection, which does and doesn't exist at the same time. So much of this is so paradoxical, right? I think that's what's so beautiful about spirituality or self-awareness. But for this theme, or to bring this in, what we want to work on here is removing, or not removing, but being aware of our words, being aware of how sharp and poisonous and damaging our tongue can be. I use it as the term spitting venom. Sometimes we do that and the person or the other component outside of ourselves literally feels it. Like, I say something really nasty to someone and cut them down and they're hurt by that. We don't want to do that. That's not a great place to be. But also in things like social media and seeing somebody who is happy, or there's all this stuff going around, and it's like we can sometimes become very cruel and cutting of someone else's success or their successful relationship, or that they moved, or they bought a house, or they're going on a trip, and we become bitter and nasty and cruel about it. So those are the things we want to work on in this session. So while I've addressed with you what we want to release, I also want to focus on what we want to bring in. Openness, expansion, knowing that there are so many things behind the scenes that divinely orchestrate to get us to where our goal is, and that sometimes this takes time. This isn't the kind of thing that happens overnight all the time. I myself have had some beautiful manifestations come about recently that are years in the making, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And one of them is actually with another individual. Hello, if you're watching. And this is something we talked about a year ago, and now the stars have aligned and we're working on it together. So what I'm trying to say is we want to bring in a flexibility, a trust, a awareness that yes, we are the creators, and yes, we are cultivating these seeds and intentions, but we can't force something to grow. We have to remember that all these other things are going on behind the scenes. So just to bring that in. And then in terms of the reversed Queen of Swords, we want to bring in a kindness and understanding, a knowing that while thinking critically is certainly appropriate, like it's okay to think in a critical way. Does this resonate? Is this for me? Is this not? But more so, why am I feeling this way? If we feel jealous or we need to cut someone down, let's bring an awareness to, of course, that action, that reaction from us, but also the deeper meaning of why. Why am I rejecting of someone's happiness? Why does it make me so uncomfortable? Why does it bring me to this nasty place where I need to say something freaking rude, or say it to myself, or be so gross like that? I hope you know what I mean by gross. And all of this pairs into this card, soul retrieval. I keep wanting to say soul fragmentation. Soul retrieval. Okay. So while I cannot do a soul retrieval through a video, I can help you to do your own guiding through a soul retrieval. I'm not talking about a journey going back to these experiences necessarily where we're living and breathing and being there in that moment. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that as a practitioner. As a practitioner, I have to know what is appropriate and what isn't, and that's not something I'm comfortable with doing through distance. That's an in-person thing for me. However, we can certainly work towards it. We can certainly do a good, I don't like the way I said that. We can certainly work towards retrieving aspects of ourselves, healing aspects of ourselves. And in the last reading I did, I shared that this very much felt like it had a lot to do with relationships. So that's where we're going to be. Whether this was witnessing your parents' relationship, or I think that's a really good place to kind of focus on in terms of what did I see? What can I identify? My grandmother, I'm speaking the truth right now. My truth. My grandmother being very cruel and nasty to my grandfather, who was also very emotionally unavailable to her. My grandmother taking it out on her children, my mother being one of them, who then took it out on me when she was jealous or insecure or unhappy. So let's look at the soul retrieval in terms of relationships going through our family lines or what we grew up experiencing or around, and see what of us was predisposed to be sacrificed before we even became aware of what a relationship was and what kind of dynamic we felt comfortable in. All right, and it's so funny too now that I say that, because the positioning here, right, like King of Wands, Queen of Swords, very mother father here. So maybe you, like me, perhaps had a feminine energy in your life that was very spit venom, as I said, and a father figure or father energy or masculine energy. I know a lot of you don't like those terms, but the yin to, the yang, to be very focused on the immediate. You have to get a job because that's what people do. You have to have insurance. Well, nobody likes what they do, all that kind of stuff. So these are actually perfect depictions of my parents right here, whom I love, but let's be real there. Okay. And if it doesn't work for you, if you had a very expansive thinking kind of, I'm saying father, but that energy in your life or that impression upon you, could be uncles or teachers or anything like that. I don't want to limit you in any way, but, or maybe reversed, maybe it was the mother having, the more feminine side having the ideal of lack, or the idea of lack, or the focusing on the very specific nitty-gritty time, all of these things, where the father more energy I'm confusing myself now, was more nasty and spitting venom, cutting down people, that kind of stuff. So wherever you can see these energies in your life, it does not have to be your parents, but this seems to be something we've picked up along the way, or that we've sacrificed something along ourselves along the way and brought this in as a major area of what we identify as what just a relationship might be. So I hope that works for some of you, and that those of you who are not quite there can still utilize this as a way, however you see fit, but just to work on the, it could be the energies within yourself as well, clearly, your yin and yang, to balance the nasty side of us, the critical, the judgmental, the quick to cut someone else down or downplay someone else's success or anything like that, with the expectation of when this should be here and how much it should be and blah 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 blah, instead of the bigger picture. What do I want, and what am I preventing from reaching me because of my rejection of seeing it in other people? This is not new. I'm sure you've heard this many times, that you can't look at somebody with like a Porsche and be like, look at this fucking asshole. That's not gonna work, because you're like, what is it? Because they have the money, because they have this, because what is it about it, someone else having something nice, that makes you feel uncomfortable, or that they're entitled and you're not, So this is a lot of self-reflection, and I think that is going to be a major aspect of this soul retrieval, again, because I can't do a full soul retrieval with you without knowing you and knowing what you're ready for. I'm going to shut my door. Alright, so as you can see, I do have a candle going because I had lit it before for the tarot reading. I am going to light some more incense. This is a cinnamon little cone. I guess I can just hold it and weave it around you. I was gonna get like a fancy thing to do it, but that's okay. So cinnamon is a very powerful and magical, you could say, element. I I love to add it to oils or my tea or anything really, salt that I might be using in a bath, to just add an element of power, of breaking through, and just like a magical boost, if I can put it that way. Okay, so if you're open to the healing session by proxy, I'm focusing on the energy around you, your aura, and charging you with this beautiful cinnamon smell. Excuse me. Oh, you may notice I have some new art on my wall. It is a print from Mystic Mondays that I purchased, and I really wanted to get a frame for it, but I have had trouble finding the right size, and it's been sitting in my office tucked away. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it up with some sticky stuff and go from there. I'll get the frame eventually, but now she's out. That's the Magician. If you don't know, Mystic Mondays are just it's a really beautiful tarot deck that I love and I use personally a lot. Okay. Alright, so I have an amethyst here. It's super pretty. This is from Queen of Serene shop. Bringing amethyst out for the cosmic connection, for the energy of the violet flame, which we discussed in my last video. Super gorgeous. Oh, my battery's gonna die, so okay, we're recording again. Try to focus it for you. There we go. You can see it's so beautiful. Sparkly. Very grape jelly. I know sometimes it sounds like I'm being quite rough with my stones, but I promise I'm very, very, very careful with them. Just the sound of my nails. So I'm gonna put my dominant hand behind this piece. That feels better. Weave it around your energy, just sending this violet flame, this transformation, transforming, compassionate energy of truth and freedom to you. Right? And if you don't know my opinion on violet flame, please check out the other video. I love where the matrix meets the crystal formations. It just has these beautiful shapes. freaking beautiful. So do some balancing with it. I want it to be a little more focused for you. I think that is just focus on, if you're open to it. I don't want to impose, but the energy of the violet flame, of freedom, of divine alignment and transformation, washing over you, enveloping you, setting the tone for this beautiful, safe space full of energy for you to tap into and heal yourself. Specifically the topics we shared, but whatever comes out for you as well, you always have an open invite. Okay. Sorry if you can hear my stomach. I'm gonna get some lunch later. I think the amethyst is making me hungry. Alright. We have beautiful rose quartz, which I've recently showed you. Of course, this light does not show you its stunning pink color very well, but it's a beautiful rose quartz nonetheless. And I'm bringing this out for compassion, forgiveness. If you do identify with that there may have been individuals in your past who started to shape your perspective or shape the way you formed relationships or moved in any way. And of course, I'm speaking in a sense of romantic relationships, but this can be friendships, family bonds, your relationship to money, your relationship to other people having. I think a lot of times we see that this annoyed feeling that we have when we see someone succeed is an annoyance that is coming truly from ourselves, because we think, oh, I could have done that, I should have been working on it, or why didn't I put the effort in, or why am I not there? So just that awareness and compassion for yourself. Because when you can have that within, that's what we see for other people. And when we see someone experiencing and getting all their desires and in love and all of these beautiful places, it's not a they have that and I don't. It's a they have that and so can I. She did it. He's got it. They have it. They're doing what they want. I love this one. I had another, but I gave it to my brother. Alright. Here's our friend moss agate. Tree agate. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is from Monk and Moon. And this could be very much tied to the soul retrieval card here. The lines, both cosmic and the earth's lines. Okay. So maybe you can identify with the tree. You were once a little seedling. A little sprout, and you mimicked the way the other trees grew. But perhaps you're not the same breed. Perhaps, like all trees or all souls and fingerprints and wave patterns, we are unique, and growing in the same way doesn't always serve. perhaps you need a sunnier place or a little more quiet or whatever. Alright, this is actually a gift that Carolina sent me, and I love it so much. I think I brought it out a lot recently. It is one of my favorite stones, which is Kambaba stone. I love it, I love the way it feels, but I love these little eye formations. And Kambaba, which you've probably heard me say 100 million times by now, is a great stone for releasing and rewriting our own patterns. So absolutely beautiful for this session right now. Great stone to use under your pillow as you sleep, to set an intention to release what no longer serves you and bring in the skills and potential from your highest, most intelligent self into your conscious mind. Can't tell you why exactly, but I've been guided to use this oil called Purple Rain that Blanca actually sells. I bought one from her here in the office. Hi. It smells kind of like Dimetap in like the most amazing way, because Dimetap smells amazing. If you don't know what that is, it smells like a grape bubblegum or grape gum or grape candy, fake grape, as in, you know, clearly this isn't grape juice and Dimetap is not grape juice. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the name, Purple Rain, or I don't know, it just really wanted to come out for some of you. Oh my god, I get it now. For me, I don't know, I just thought of childhood, because when the heck was the last time I took a Dimetap for anything? Maybe this will be a reminder, if you can remember that smell, that grape smell of your childhood, and help you to get back there through this session. How funny, right? Smells awesome, although it is brown, so I don't want it to stain my new dress that I bought 2 of because I like it. So, just a little bit on my fingers, you can see And I'm focusing to charge this with the energy of the inner child, to take us back through the paths of our history of experiences, and to bring us to a place in our childhood where we may have witnessed something that preset or that we took on as truth in some way, such as focusing on just what's in front of our face as the evidence of it becoming true or manifesting it, and feeling very frustrated if those things are not there. Or alternatively, or in combination, the reaction to hurt with our mouth, with our tongue, with our sharpness, or the sharpness that was shown to us in some way, which led to an energy of, a essence of soul fragmentation or soul splitting, or removing the ability to be so compassionate, because instead we're quite judgmental or afraid somebody's going to tell us we're stupid or that this is dumb or whatever. So we're going to work on healing those in a complete way. It's not just if this was done to you, but then also the ability to send compassion to whomever did that to us. They were unhappy, clearly. Alright. So I'm just going to anoint the top of your head here. Just gently. I'm going to go around your hairline too, like this. Okay. Then I'm going to go for the back of the head. Your wrists. Your ankles. Okay, just gonna put it in the back of my head too. Okay. Solidarity. Oh, it smells really good. Alright. Because of course so many of you use this as a sleep aid, I would like for you to be aware that just the intention to receive this will certainly reach you, of course, when you fall asleep. I feel some of us do fall asleep and drift off when they're here in my office or, through distance, because it's the time when the body is regenerating, is reprogramming, is healing. So it's a beautiful thing. So I have this lovely spray that just came from the vitamin shop. It was on sale. It has essential oils, 100% pure essential oils in carrier. This is the Dream Mist. Spray this around you. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm recording because it's always a bummer. Okay. To your back. It smells so good. It always reminds me first of like just a nice tea, like a nice soothing cup of tea. Okay, let's spray my hands. Just brush this over you to help you fall asleep if that's what you're looking for. Or just be in a very deep state of relaxation. Alright, and of course we also have the energy of the violet flame. Just like a flame, like coming up around and over you. This beautiful transformative energy. Okay. Alright. Let me make sure that I did everything I wanted to do first. Alright. So here I have a this is the throat. Yeah, the throat chakra singing bowl, because while the chakra systems are, I think you'll find them interpreted a little different through many different courses of study. Blanca and I always have a a debate over, what the solar plexus represents, for example. But for me, I think that it's the intention. So if we're trying to address a certain thing, it's just included because that's the intention, whether, it's the precise chakra or not. They're all working together all the time. So just to put that out there. But this is a throat chakra singing bowl, so it's in a G note. For the primary note is G. And I thought that this would be beautiful to balance the sharpness, to tone it down, to release that critical thinking, that critiquing. I mean that, like, sorry for the horn, opposite of compassion, this like rejection of love and witnessing beauty around us, or the inner voice that we have that may have been from a parent or someone influential to us, a brother or sister or something like that, who cut us down, and it's time to heal that and release that that memory, that thought that's circulating. And of course, because the soul retrieval card came up, we might not have this as a clear memory. So if you're open to it, just intend for your highest and greatest good to be assisted through this session. But it also throat pairs very well with that hyper thinking. I know that you would think this is thinking, but I relate the throat more to thinking in terms of critical thinking, logical thinking as well, and good and bad, of course, always together. But those thoughts of, well, this isn't here now, well, I need this much money, well, and it's not the focus of the greater, more expansive picture of why you want the money, or how you want to feel, or what would make you feel supported. Alright, so I hope that makes sense. Just gonna bring it in a little first, and I'm focusing as well to channel energy into the bowl itself. So as these waves of sound hit you, they wash over you, and they are in fact an energy healing as well, or in a different way too. So just working to activate and touch on it a little bit first. Focusing our energy on our throat chakra. To master our thoughts, master our expectations. Of course, I don't need to tell you this isn't the the traditional way to play a singing bowl. But I don't think there's a rule. They're not as bad for you as they are for me. As in noticeable. Alright, so we're gonna get started with our session now. I'm just gonna give myself a second to move my arm a little in not a locked way. Shake it out. Sometimes when I play the drum or bowl, they're little but they're kind of heavy, so I'm gonna grab some water. Okay, beautiful. So for this session, I'm actually going to be focused very much on the back of your head. That is where the Zeal chakra point is, and if you're interested in more about that, I do have video, at least one video working with the Zeal chakra. I want to say I have more, but I know there's at least one. And you know what, actually maybe the soul fragmentation video has Zeal chakra stuff as well as a separate Zeal chakra video. But the Zeal chakra, from my perspective, I haven't found a lot of research on it personally. It might certainly be out there, but I haven't stumbled across it myself. But I see it very much tied to this, it seems to be continually awakening from what I've seen in my clients. I've had sessions with certain clients where it's like very much in like a need, like I'm activating, I'm awakening, I'm doing something, and then I won't notice it in like following sessions, and then I'll see it again even months later. And I think that, you know, when I try to logically think about it, if the zeal is tied to what we've pushed to the back of our mind, we're certainly not able to handle all of that stuff at once for the most part. I mean, you know, I don't want to limit anyone, but just from my experience, what I've witnessed, energy work should be comfortable. You know, it shouldn't be like, here, deal with all this stuff at once. And we're ready for different things at different times. So I think that's why it starts to like play or come out and like become activated more so during certain things, or perhaps when it's processing something, if that makes sense. So we're going to be working on the zeal. Just bringing my attention into my hands. I'm going to start with some Reiki symbols. And people ask me about these a lot, and there are ones I use that are quite traditional, and there are ones that I've developed myself. Reiki symbols for me are much more about the intention and the empowering of the symbol and how you work with it than, you know, I don't want to sound contradicting, but then doing it the right way, the exact way. There's different interpretations, like eggplant and aubergine, you know, they still mean the same thing. So I'm going to work to connect between time and space. Alright. Stepping in line together. Maybe you feel me put my hand on your shoulder. Setting an intention to help you release, work on, change, transform, transmute a quality which may be within you, perhaps from your ancestors, from your parents, from family, from things that you witnessed as a child, which made you limited because, or identify with limitations. Which didn't teach you how to properly manifest in ways that were the most effective. Okay, so just kind of working on the shoulders first here. And like I said, a lot of this is going to be towards your back, so you have to bear with me. Just brushing down your back, down your shoulders, going up to the back of your neck and brushing down. Kind of doing a figure 8 of sorts back here. And I'm going to place my hand at the back of your head, actually both of them, like this. Right, and I'm focusing to call in, direct in the violet flame of transformation, transmutation, freedom, compassion, and for it to work through you, with you, for you, on behalf of you, for your highest and greatest good, for exactly what you're ready for, and to have profound results. Profound yet comfortable results. You can see perhaps these little lines like fibers or fiber optics or nerves or whatever you see in the back of your mind. Maybe they're lit up like fiber optics, and the ones that do not serve you start to dim, we'll say, or perhaps they shift in color from something muddy or intense to something gentle and bright Not that there's anything wrong with mud or darkness, but just for a visual for you to use. Perhaps they seem tangled and we're kind of redirecting and giving them the chance to reroute themselves. The way vines seek out something to attach to and then grow from. You want to give them an opportunity to find what is more appropriate. Okay. Appropriate as in appropriate for you on behalf of what your desired fulfillment is. Okay, so we're just playing in the back of the head, like through your head, not to spook you, but through your head, and playing with these lines, these paths. And if you feel any pressure, if you see perhaps a little bubble moving down one of the lines, like a droplet on a blade of grass or spider web, these are just things that might be being released, processing. Okay. Just working them out. Super easy, super gentle, not too much. They're so small, you know, they're just like, doop. That's all it takes, from here to here. But like a ripple, they make major waves in our life, okay? Just calming down the energy in your head. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Oh, sorry, my nose is so itchy today. Alright, so I'm just gonna focus on the Earth Star Chakra, swirling up, just helping with the movement, with the assimilation through the chakras. Open to the high soul chakra. I don't even know if that's the right name. Aura. Just release that criticism. I'm feeling it. I'm remembering all the times I was criticized, even in the last day. So I know that that's a sign for me that perhaps you guys are dealing with that too. Okay. And it's sparking me to say that sometimes these criticisms from other people criticizing us, we have to remember that's just them. That's just their perspective. It has nothing to do with us. Of course, we should always listen and consider, is there merit here? Is this real? Is this going to help? Is this a healthy critique? Or is it someone holding you back? Or someone uncomfortable with your transformation or your purpose, and it makes them feel off of theirs? So always look and see. Always. And it's okay to feel annoyed when you hear that from people. I sure do. But then I stop and look, because the annoyance is a sign. It's a feeling that I can't deny. It touched me. Let me look. Poor them. Or, that makes sense. Right? Alright, you're all diamond-tapped up over here. Healing through your childhood, healing through your life, your relationships, your ideas about relationships, your ideas about money and happiness and success, your relationship to money and happiness and success. Okay? Alright. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this session and the reading previously as well. I must, of course, say thank you so much to those of you who have become clients, supported me in any way. You are, I should rephrase, because I'm not trying to single anyone out. Watching this video is supporting me. You don't have to monetarily support me to support me. Watching this video and leaving a like and a comment is beautiful. So thank you so much. That is amazing. Okay, so I don't want anyone to feel guilty. But, I still have to say thank you to those who are supporting me, who I've had the pleasure of working with, who are on Patreon or Tingles or any of the upcoming projects that I have coming out. So looking forward to continuing this journey with you guys, and I appreciate your awareness that I am also transforming too. I will not stay the same forever. And if I did, I probably wouldn't be very good at what I do, right? So I appreciate you keeping that in mind. And as I move and develop, I always try to do what feels right. But, I have to do what's best for me always as well. And so do you, of course. So I'll just leave that there for now. From the bottom of my heart, as always, namaste.